Hi everyone, this is CVGS, it's me Leon, and firstly sorry for the delay of release of this video due to some issues, and I have not been feeling so well, so we weren't able to get this video on time. I'm trying to hold in my cough as much as possible, so do bear with me if I suddenly go silent for a while, because I'm really trying to hold it in. So nevertheless, we bring you this. This is the SD51 Mega Deck Double Nova Deck X. This deck features a new family called Superstar and also a homage to Mai, but not to be mistaken with the Mai for bad boys and girls. Her name is Brillante Mai. During the events of Battle Spirit Brave, where she makes a double Sigmund deck from the remains of Dan's deck found in a museum, and then she used it against Bashin Dan himself. So as you can see from the box art, it features Mai herself as well as the 10th version of the Novas, which are Sigmund Nova X on the left and Double Nova on the right. So as you can, the purple and red contrast very well. It already tells you what kind of deck it is. It's gonna be a red and purple deck, of course. There's also the BS points that you can use it to that you can claim when you are during at events and stuff like that for promos and other special things. Alright, okay, let's look at the back of the box itself to see the content of the set. So this set has a lot of reprints as well as new powerful cards, of course, which are not just the Novas themselves. Of course, things like the Grand Walker Nexus, Mine, as well as some of the powerful reprints like Kado and the June Chao, we call it. Sorry, what June Chao? January Chao, which are both cards are limited one actually. I'm actually quite surprised they actually reprinted limited cards in here, which is quite cool, and we can actually get to, and for people who never got to use them, gets to use them now. Okay, so what do we have in here is a total of 20 plus 4 card types, 7 commons, 7 rares, 2 master rares, as well as 4 X rares. Okay, there is 3 extra cards and 1 promo. So let's open up the deck and see what it looks like inside. Okay, so I already removed the tape from the side earlier, so let's just look straight into the inside. Okay, so aside from the deck of 40 cards itself, there is also 5 extra cards right underneath here. Of course, there is the very pretty looking sleeve. To check it out, it's so Final Fantasy-like. I love it. Okay, of course, not to mention the playmat, which didn't fall out together with the box, and of course the 30 cost to get you started, and the so-called itself. Okay, so now that we have opened up everything, so let me just take the deck apart and show you the content, and I'll see you in just a moment. Alright? Okay, now that we have opened up the deck, we will only be taking a look at the extra for this set, as well as Kado, as well as the unforeseen reprint of the Grand Walker Nexus Apollon. Alright? So if you wish to see the rest of the cards, do look or the list itself, do check out Wall of Cards on Facebook for the deck list, and translation links are in the description below, so do check it out. So without further ado, let us look at the cards, starting from the far right here, which is the first X rare of the set. Okay, so this is the Supernova Dragon Sigmund Nova 10. Okay, from the family of Avatar, Superstar, and Astro Dragon. Okay, so it's a Radiant Descent for Astro Dragon for cost 6 or higher for both players attack stat. Okay, it's level 1, 2, and 3. When this spirit descends, if it's descend onto a spirit from the family Superstar, add cost from the void to your life until it becomes 5. And he has a second ability, level 2 and 3. On Super Release 4, when this spirit attacks, destroy any number of spirits total up to 15k BP. In addition, by sending 4 costs from your red/purple Grand Walker Nexus to this spirit, send 2 costs from your opponent's life to the void. Okay, so this is a very aggressive card. If everything goes in, it will be easily 4 damage this turn, 2 to the void and 2 straight into your face. So, okay. It has since it's as you can see, it's also quite high in BP as well, based on what I can see here, and it's very aggressive, and it drops in fairly early since cost 6, and higher is not such a problem. It's a very average number, so expect to see it very quickly in your on your opponent's turn, and together combining with some of the cards, this can potentially kill you in within the same turn. So you have to be very careful. Okay, following up with the next card, which will be the 10th version of the Rum Nova, the Star Slayer Dragon Rum Nova. Okay, also from the family of Avatar, Superstar, as well as Astro. All your spirit for level 1, 2, and 3, all your spirit containing name Nova X cannot be brave. Brave spirits are separated, unaffected by opposing effects. Okay, Slayer Release 2, level 2 and 3 Flash. Once per turn, destroy one opposing exhausted spirit. Alternatively, once per game, you may send 2 calls from your red/purple Grandwalker Nexus to this spirit. If you have done so, this spirit color is treated as colorless. Destroy all opposing spirit/opposing brave that is brave to a Grandwalker Nexus. So this is basically a board wipe, potentially, depending on what your opponent has on the table. And also getting rid of all the annoying Saga Brave that has been getting in your way throughout the entire fight, since Saga Brave now plays a very vital role in the game. So getting rid of them, since there's no way to touch Grandwalker's Saga Braves, due to you need to specifically target the Grandwalker in order for things to happen. Since most, not that I recall that any of the cards has the kind of ability to do so at the moment, to destroy Saga Brave that's brave onto them. But this card can do so, and because it's colorless, armor is unaffected by it, so making this card a very important piece of the puzzle to defeating your opponent, and it's also double symboled. Okay, moving on to something really special that I print out for this set, which is the Superstar Spencer Dragon. It's also a family of Superstar and Astro Dragon. Okay, this card is in your trash. It cannot be returned to your hand or deck. When your opposing burst activates, you can immediately play 1 cost to summon this card from your hand. If you have done so, destroy 1 opposing burst and add 2 costs from the void to this spirit or to your Grandwalker. Okay, level 2 and 3, when this spirit attacks or blocked, you can destroy 1 opposing spirit ultimate of BP 7k or lower. If this effect triggers, basically if destroyed by this effect, refresh the spirit. Okay, just to pay attention to its primary effect, the whole long text up above. Okay, when opposing burst activates, you can immediately pay 1 cost from your hand, and if you done so, destroy the burst, right? Okay, so anything like Farom or any other burst that doesn't have unaffected is completely affected. So this happens before the activation of the burst effect. So this basically counts as an anti-burst in some way, but do note that things like Alex or even Commander 5's Exo that has all those unaffected, when this card is in the burst zone, is unaffected, it does not affect them. Ultimately, this card plays a vital role to rebuilding your resources by adding 2 costs from the void to this spirit, regardless of whether you destroy the burst. So this is a very important card to have, and never hurt to have, just because your opponent has nowadays there's a lot of these unaffected abilities, so still play them, of course. Moving on to one of the main features of the set, which is the Grandwalker Veloe Mai Demi-Human side. This is the main card, main Grandwalker Nexus that is released for this set. Okay, so she call charges on Astro Dragon Avatar that is cost 3 or higher. Okay, so this Nexus symbol is treated as red. Oh, looking at, she is not a god symbol. She is straight up a purple symbol that is also treated as red. Okay, Grand Skill 2, level 1 and 2, flash both players' attack stat. Once per turn, send 2 calls from this Nexus to the void. Send 1 call from opposing spirit / ultimate to your opponent's trash. Moving on is the Grand Field level 2, which is on 3 call maintenance. Alright, both players' attack stat. When your opponent plays a magic card before that effect resolves, by banishing 4 cards from the family Superstar in your trash, immediately negate that effect. So, since the nature of this deck itself is supposed to be very aggressive, do expect your opponent to play things like Limited Barrier or all kinds of defensive spells to stop you from getting the attack in, because it's gonna hurt really bad. So this card works as that countermeasure to help you negate that follow-up ability, a bit much like Grand Warden, but of course Grand Warden is that it summons out and then it negates ability and comes into play. But while she negates from the sidelines by banishing 4 of your Superstar Dragons, so you have to make it count, because not all the time you're gonna have 4 Superstar Dragons in your trash to let you do that ability, so it's very limited in comparison to Grand Warden, because when Grand Warden get bounced back, you can still use it again, so there's still chances that and there's 3 most likely Grand Wardens in the deck, so that's probably gonna happen a lot more often than not. Okay, moving on to the highlights of the set, which is the Nexus, which I want to talk about, is the limited to 1 Aitsunokado. Aitsunokado is a literally his card, as you can see. Okay, it's a Nexus on level 1 and 2 during your main stat. When you summon a spirit containing name Worm, you can draw 2 cards from your deck. Then this level 2 is during your draw stat. Instead of drawing, you may reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card to your hand and send the remaining to the top of your deck in any order. Okay, so one of the primary reasons why this card is limited is probably because of its level 2 ability that lets you scry 3, take 1 and set the other 2 on the top of the deck in any order. So basically you can manipulate the deck in the way that you want it to be, so it helps you to strategize better on how you want to play certain cards, especially if your deck somehow contains things that allows you to draw 2 cards or using some of the draw ability, so you can consider whether you want to do so or not. Alright, and of course the level 1 and 2 ability, which you draw 2 cards when you summon a Worm card, it helps in conjunction with the level 2 ability. So let's say I have checked my top 3 cards on my deck, I add a card, I put the other 2, I want those 2 cards. So now I summon a Worm card, and then immediately I add these 2 cards into my hand. So that makes this card very annoying to deal with. And luckily, because it's still a Nexus, you can still get rid of it if you have the sufficient cards that allows you to destroy Nexus. And since this costs 5 with 2 red reduction and 1 purple, so it's kind of hard to get up. But when you do, it's a red and purple symbol reduction. Basically, this whole deck will get a good reduction cost since all the high cost is in here. Okay, moving on to the next Grand Walker. That is which a lot of people didn't see coming, is the release as a reprint version of the Grand Walker Apollo. Okay, so it's a family of Grand Walker and Oleum. Okay, so it charges on Astro Dragon Visitant, Avatar, and cost 3 or higher. Okay, so it's level 1 and 2. This Nexus symbol is also treated as red, very helpful. Grand Skill 2, level 1 and 2. Flash, during both players' attack step, send 2 cards from the Nexus to the void. By destroying 1 opposing spirit, ultimate with a BP of 6k or lower, draw 1 card from your deck. Lastly, the Grand Field level 2. During your attack step, when your spirit from the family Astro Dragons destroys an opposing spirit or ultimate, by doing so, you send 1 card from your opponent's life to the reserve, and this effect cannot be duplicated. So you kind of see the link here. These two nasty things together. So imagine he goes in, blows stuff up, you take 2, this guy makes you take another, you're on 2 lives, you have no burst, you didn't have a counter, you didn't whenever block, 2 more, basically you're dead. So this is exactly why. This is just one of the methods. Of course, maybe a little bit unconventional for in some cases. The opponent probably is not gonna let you have it lah. But of course, if they cast a spell, this thing links in. Man, this deck it has a lot of things going for it. Okay, but with that said, thank you all for watching. If you do like what you see today, do remember to subscribe to us and ring the bell right at the bottom to view more of our videos. Of course, do follow us on all our socials, which are Facebook, Twitter, as well as our Instagram that recently came up. So do check that out, and we'll probably post a lot of shenanigans there. And of course, Discord. We will be there on most nights. And of course, if we are not there, there's a healthy and friendly community of our rear guards that is there, that's willing to chit chat, that's willing to share their ideas with you and whatsoever not. Okay, with that said, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.